Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the town hall for the candidates and elected officials running for the Benson recall special election on May 19th. My name is Jeff Davenport. I'll be your moderator this evening in this event that is sponsored by Cool FM live streaming all around the world right now through the Cool FM Live platform. And remember, tomorrow is the last day to request a ballot for the May 19th special recall election. Your vote is your voice, and we encourage you to get out and vote. That's the whole reason we're doing this. If you live in the Benson area and you're watching this right now, please do us a favor. Share this to all the different Benson groups that are out there to make sure that they see these candidates and know exactly what they stand for as we have this 10-minute town hall here. I believe we're in a room where I can freely say that I'm grateful to live in a country where we can stand for our American flag and we can kneel before our God. And we are going to do the latter first, and that is welcoming Dr. Mike Lingenfelter, the lead pastor of the First Baptist Church in Benson, who will provide our invocation.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's pray together. Let's open in prayer. Heavenly Father, first, thank you for Jesus, his death, burial, and resurrection. You have brought salvation, and you have made it possible to know you through faith in Jesus. Secondly, we thank you for this country and its 250th anniversary. We pray for the leaders in the federal government, our state, and our local governments, that they will lead with your insight and with your desire, and that you will protect each one of them. Thirdly, may this evening honor you. Lord, politics can be extremely divisive, resulting in hurt, hatred, and bitterness. Therefore, we ask for your help. In Galatians 5:22 and 23, you told us of the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. May we look to you and embrace every bit of this fruit this evening. Provide each one here with wisdom and discernment, and blanket us with compassion and understanding. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor. We appreciate that. And as we said, living in a country where we kneel before our God and we stand for our American flag, if you are able to do so, we ask that you kindly stand as VFW Commander Mike Scott will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Is that arms? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Wonderful. Wonderful. You may be seated. Well, once again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Throughout the course of the next hour, give or take, we will have 6 different participants who will be interviewed individually in alphabetical order and asked 5 questions for a total of 10 minutes, 2 minutes per question. The answers will be timed. We have a timekeeper, our lovely timekeeper, Mary Moran, right here up front, who will give them a 30-second warning and let them know when their time has expired. And currently, the participants, obviously there's more in the room next to us. They can't hear the answers that are being said from the candidates who are going before them. And of course, Cool FM Live is streaming the event, so we do ask that you refrain from speaking out during interviews and save your applause until the end of each interview or at the start of this particular one, as we welcome to the stage our very first participant. This is Benson City Council candidate Mark Boyle. Mark, good to see you. Mark, thanks for taking the time to talk to us today. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Mark Boyle, obviously. I'm a father, grandfather, and as of about a year and a few months ago, a great-grandfather.
Oh.
So having children was actually one of the cooler things I did in life and more rewarding.
It's this one. Here we go.
And more rewarding thing to do. So in retrospect, it was great. It's hard work. So for 50 years of my life, I was in floor covering, doing construction, and always favored construction and being on big commercial sites and stuff like that. And I learned that every job has its problems. And if the people doing the work study and try hard and apply themselves, the job gets done. So I'm running to do the hard work and hopefully get the job done.
Hmm. What do you feel are the key issues in this election?
The key issues, well, we have so many of them.
Yeah.
Infrastructure being one of them. And while we were out getting, signatures and stuff, people were talking about the roads and when are you going to fix it and all this stuff. And then which leads me to the other issue, which is finance in the town. Now they say our finances are great and everything's wonderful. And they have these great pie charts and everything and donut things and stuff. Looks great. But every year, like this year, they're projecting another 2 to 3% increase in tax revenue. And I just don't know where that fuzzy math comes from, because inflation, layoffs, everything is going up, and they're not going to be collecting as much revenue. But every year, they try to get more revenue and taxes, and yet the roads aren't fixed and stuff. So they get more money, but it gets spent somewhere else. Maybe it's inflation. I don't know. And then the biggest issue that I feel is important is our water sustainability. And that's our water. That belongs to us, the people in Benson. And so I don't think it should be allowed to be given away, by a city council or planning and zoning without talking to us, because it's a resource. People have gone to war over that. Afghanistan, Pakistan just had a great war over water. So if they want to give it away so cheaply, then that seems to be kind of a problem. So that's my main issue.
You're doing great. Then going on to question number 3, what type of economic development do you support for this area?
Well, I support tourism, obviously, and we have pretty good tourism. Excuse me. And I'd like to see them, make it look more attractive. Get out there and advertise a little bit more and stuff like that. But we have a lot of people come here. And then I do support light industry, not heavy industry, but light industry, bringing in stuff that could create jobs and help us out. And so that's something I'd support. But we have a freeway running across there that probably $1 billion a day just goes flying past town. So for tourism, we need to get some of that to come in here. That's the whole point of tourism. Come to Benson, spend some money. So those are the key things that I support. Mostly.
So what would you say is your vision for the city of Benson?
Well, that's key, because it is a vision. And so therefore, we need everyone to kind of visualize this. But if we could cut taxes and fees and everything in the town, from property tax, grocery tax, income tax, everything that they collect money on, by just 3 to 5%, that would put about $75 to $80 in every household's pocket every month. So you think, well, that's not, life or death, but it is $70, $80. And that would be spent right here in town, because we're not going to go on a whirlwind tour with $70, $80. But at the end of every year, that's $2 million that was saved in our pocket. And when we go shopping, go to Ace and buy paint for honeydews and stuff like that, or send our kids to camp for football or cheer or whatever, that stays right here in town. So $2 million a year is quite a hefty stimulus package without giving the money to some government agency or our own city and then having them give us back our portion. So I think that would be the vision, to help this town grow organically without being taxed to that again.
Well, it's time for question number 5. Our 5th and final question is closing thoughts on this whole process, or extra things that you'd like to tell the city of Benson.
All right. Well, I just want to thank everyone for being out here, because I've talked to people, and this type of town hall has never happened in Benson. So apparently people are looking around and going, what's going on? We have a lot of people in the council that are saying, we did nothing, which is partially true. They did nothing. But what was wrong about what they did was they did nothing. They didn't tell us. So they gave us all our water away and promised for jobs and vapid other pie in the sky items. So the fact that you're all here and you know, is a giant scream, can you hear us now? And I think if they can't hear us now, then they don't need to be in office. That's about it.
Well, thank you so much, Benson City Council candidate Mark Boyle, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Great job. Excellent job. Remember that tomorrow is the final day to request a ballot for the May 19th special recall election. Your vote is your voice. It is time for you to get out and vote. This is the Town Hall, brought to you by the Cool FM Live, and hanging out with you here this evening. I don't mind moving this back, John, making sure that they can hear this. The individuals here is more important than hearing me. So, because you guys can hear me, that's fine. But we appreciate all the organizers and everyone who came to put this event together. And of course, thank you to the Barney Figueroa VFW Post 6271 for hosting our Town Hall tonight. They do so much for the community, and we're very grateful that they are part of this evening's hosting this event. It is time for candidate number 2, who is a current Benson City Councilman, and he is Pat Boyle. Pat, good to see you. Thank you so much. Please have a seat. Have a seat. We'll use this microphone, and you'll use that microphone as well. Glad to have you here. Thank you so much for your time. Can you take a second to tell us about yourself?
Well, certainly. I was born and raised in Tucson. I went to Pueblo High School, and I don't remember what year it was, but anyway, that's where I met my wife. She was at the same high school, and we got to know each other, and so we've been together now for 53, going on 54 years. Can't believe she kept me that long, but in any case, so I've spent time in the military. I was in the Army for 6 years. We moved to different parts of the state. We lived, of course, we started out in Tucson. We moved up to northeastern Arizona. We had a ranch. Then we moved over to Cottonwood, where we raised all our kids. We have 3 daughters. We have 5 grandchildren, and we also have 2 great-grandsons. I don't know what else you need to know about me. That's about it.
That's great information. We appreciate that. What do you feel are the key issues in this election?
Well, so beyond the issues of this recall election specifically, was the lack of communications, and they felt that one of the reasons they were recalling us is because they felt that we haven't communicated well enough, specifically with the ADI people, and so one of the things that I think are one of the big issues is that we need to communicate better with the community. We have problems with that because we don't have a local radio station like we used to have, prison company accepted. We don't have a newspaper anymore, and we don't have a television. So the only way we can get the communications out to everybody is basically through the website. And the website has had its ups and downs. We are working to make it better and more responsive. So it's the information that's needed is there, and that way. And people in the community need to know things that would be a good clearinghouse for the information. One of the other important things, I think one of the main important things that we're concerned about in this election and the next election too, is the city's needs for a new fire station, new police substation up on 90. We're currently working on those. We have the city is actively looking for land right now for the facility. We are dealing with the money that we have available in order to build the project, and of course we're always looking for ways to staff it and equipment. So that's something that's very important to us right now that we're working on. And I believe that'll probably cover it. Just probably 100 other things, but that's some of the main things.
Well, that's where some of these other questions kind of lead into. Question number 3 is, what type of economic development do you support looking ahead?
Well, certainly. Benson has been and always, first of all, it's a railroad town, but it doesn't really bring us a lot of money to speak of, but it was founded on the railroad, but we have, and we're also a hub, like a transportation sort of hub in this corner of the state, and for Cochise County, but that's doesn't really pay the bills either. So what we've lived on is our tax base, which is sales tax. And we have winter visitors, we have tourists that come through this part of the state and stay with us and so on. But that's a real closed loop, and it doesn't really, allow us to expand much. And so Benson has been pretty stagnant for a long time. I've been part of Benson. Well, we've lived in Benson for the last 20 years, and but my family's been here in Benson since 1972 or so. And so it hasn't changed much in size and things of that nature. It's been pretty much the same Benson all along. But as we need to grow, and when more people are moving in, more services are required, the different treatment plants and so on, all of these things need to be, upgraded and so on. We have a sewage treatment plant up on the hill that we're getting ready to open. It's been sitting there for many years. So, but we have to have outside income coming in. If all we do is just a service thing, it's a real closed loop and there's no growth involved. So we need to have money coming into the city. And so light industry or of some sort that's, I'm not necessarily speaking about ADI because I'm not sure how much money that'll actually bring us. But in any case, we do need to have light manufacturing and other things of that nature to where fresh new money is coming into town to help support the different needs we have.
Pat Boyle, what is your vision for the city of Benson?
I'd like to see Benson be more economically independent. Right now we are very, we are very dependent on winter visitors and just tourists coming through. Which is a very fickle situation. If, for instance, during the COVID time, we had, a lot of people didn't come. The city's, coffers were really low. We didn't have the ability to make it up, and so we had to, cut back. We ended up with furloughs and other things of that nature for the city staff. I'd like to see us be more independent financially, and that goes back to the last question where I'd like to see more industry come to town that's more self-sufficient and actually brings fresh money into town as opposed to just our money locally circulating around and eventually leaving. I'd like to see our schools are excellent right now. We've had a outstanding school district, good teachers, students, everything about it is good spirit and all of that. I want to make sure that stays that way. I want to make sure we have good teachers, good and spirit throughout the city to, support the school, to help, make it everything that it can be for the sake of our kids. And lastly, on the same note, I'd like to have enough, like say, industry in the town to where when our children grow and graduate high school, that there's an opportunity for them to work here locally if they want to, instead of having to leave and go to Tucson or elsewhere. And of course, if they're going to college and so on, I understand. But I'd like to have them be able to come back and raise their families here. So there needs to be some sort of income generating types of industry here that will allow that to happen to where there's, people can actually support a family and buy a decent home and live here in town.
And now it's time for your final closing thoughts.
So the recall has been very divisive. I'm really beside myself how actually divisive it became, and some of the things that were being said and some of the accusations that have been made. I really feel as though it's very difficult for me to sit and watch, not because I was part of it, and was directed towards me, but it was what it was doing to the city. I love Benson, and when I see neighbors against neighbors and people saying things on the internet to each other and some terrible things, and people coming to council meetings and stuff and making wild accusations and stuff, it's heartbreaking to see this. And when I see, this happening, I want to see that done away with. And however we can do that, like I say, better communications on the city side to where people understand what's going on, so there's not all this, where they feel as though, we're keeping things back from them or we're doing things under the table or whatever else, which was never true. But, because we have this communications issues, it is difficult to get those things out for people to understand what's really actually happening and why it was happening and the order that it happened and all those different things. I'd like to see that done away with, where it's open and communications is free back and forth, and where people understand and are not taken back by something that's going on that they were caught unawares. To that end, I'd like to see people be more involved in the community. I'd like I've been on the council for a long time, and one of the things that always strikes me is for instance, we'll have a community meeting and have to discuss something, and we have an open mic and people to come in and discuss things. And you have to sign up for it and speak, speak publicly. And it's amazing to me how few people actually come to these things. So I'd like to see that change and people be more involved and come to our meetings.
Well, we appreciate your time tonight. Pat Boyle, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thanks for having
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. This is the 10-minute Town Hall on Cool FM Live. We're so glad to be bringing this to you tonight. Don't forget that your vote is your voice. It is your chance to get out and vote, because tomorrow is the very last day to request a ballot for the May 19th special recall election. If you're watching this on Cool FM Live and not able to be here at the VFW post in Benson tonight, we want to welcome you. We're glad that you're watching, and we hope that you will share this around to your friends, your family, all your neighbors, the Benson Facebook groups that are here, to be able to let everybody know that these candidates are here to talk about their ideas for this city and what the future for that is. And looks like our next one is ready to go. So let me please welcome everyone. Benson City Councilman candidate Derek Fenn. Derek, thank you so much. I'm going to spin this over to you right here. You'll use both microphones. And please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Derek Fenn, and I am a third-generation owner-operator of Benson Feed and Supply. I'm a fourth-generation resident of the San Pedro Valley, and I am a fifth-generation citizen of Cochise County. Aside from a few short years away for school, I've lived in Benson my entire life. And I pray that my family continues to live and work here for generations to come. After graduating Benson High School in 2009, I went on to receive an associate's degree from Eastern Arizona College and eventually a bachelor's degree from the University of Arizona. This fall, my beautiful wife and I will celebrate 9 years of marriage, and in 2023, we were blessed to have our first child. 2021 is when I took over Benson Feed and Supply, and in those ensuing 5 years, I've added 5 full-time jobs and 1 part-time job to the Benson economy here. Being a self-employed small business owner has been one of the most fulfilling aspects of my life thus far, outside of being a husband and father. It's taught me many lessons. It's taught me how to walk a path less traveled, how to think outside the box, how to come up with creative solutions to common problems. It's helped me develop my decision-making skills and how to budget. It's given me a wonderful opportunity to serve the people of Benson with intentionality and with care. It's helped me develop a good reputation and rapport with them as well. So when I started hearing what I felt were justified calls for change, I felt it was important that I stood up and had the courage of my convictions and offer myself as an alternative option. So that's kind of why I got involved in the race here.
Well, then, Derek, I think it's time to talk about how do you feel, or what do you feel are the key issues in this election?
Well, having lived here my whole life, I'm pretty acquainted with a lot of the perennial topics that Benson has. Some of the big ones are the high rate of taxes in Benson. We're soon going to have a combined sales tax rate of 10.1%. It'll be among the highest in the state of Arizona. On top of the fact that our groceries are taxed on a program that was supposed to sunset. Another popular topic lately with voters has been the need to improve and expand our fire department and ambulance services to protect all of our citizens. Another very popular topic has been the need for road maintenance and utility infrastructure maintenance. And there's also the ever-growing question of whether the city of Benson should own the San Pedro Golf Course at a loss of $800,000 a year. But there's a new big elephant in the room, and that's aluminum dynamics and the push for heavy industry in Benson. I think it's fair to say that the ADI deal is what has this town so politically activated right now, and I don't think that my stance is a radical one. I am not anti-industry, I am not anti-growth. But I do oppose the ADI deal because I feel that the residents of Benson were denied a robust and thorough conversation about what this facility is, how much water it will use, what it'll do to our air, and whether or not all of that is worth having this here. I'm also a small business owner, so I think we need to focus more on small businesses, and help those kinds of things grow.
Well, that kind of leads into the next question, if you were finished.
Yeah,
okay, leads into the next question of what type of economic development do you support?
Well, like I was just saying, as a small business owner, I do support more small business growth in Benson. I think ultimately those kinds of jobs are most beneficial to our area. Being less susceptible to global booms and busts, the way that these international corporations, publicly traded corporations might experience. Once they're established, small businesses are more robust and provide a slower, more steady growth that I think is more compatible with the people of Benson. I also think that being situated along the I-10 railroad, Highway 80 and 90, and having the airport, we should be focusing more on light industry rather than heavy industry. We could have companies come in here focusing on product manufacturing and distribution instead of raw material processing. We could be focusing on goods like electronics, metal manufactured parts, foods, pharmaceuticals. We think we'd also be a great spot for trucking hubs and distribution centers. These are good jobs that people in Benson can easily fill that won't suck hundreds of millions of gallons of water from our aquifers and put who knows what into our air. I also think that Benson is perfectly situated to better accommodate tourists. I think we've been under-marketing ourselves as the place to be to experience Southern Arizona. We have world-class attractions like Karshner Caverns and Tombstone in our backyard. We've got Saguaro National Park to the west, soon to be Chiricahua National Park, as the rumor goes here, soon to the east. We've got the best amenities in the county outside of Sierra Vista with a closer proximity to Tucson and Tucson International Airport. And I just think that we are really under-marketing ourselves as the place to be to get the fullest Southern Arizona experience.
So what would be your vision for this beautiful city of Benson, Derek?
I'd like Benson to be a city whose sons and daughters can return or remain to raise their families in peace and quiet and stability. I think that I would like to see Benson maintain its small town character as it inevitably experiences growth. But I think that we should keep the kind of growth that it experiences within the bounds of what residents are comfortable with. I think that there's people out there who say that I just want to see Benson shrivel up and die and stay a small town. And I don't, that's not true. That's not how I feel. And I don't think that we're on the verge of such a thing happening. I've lived in Benson my whole life and I've seen it do nothing but grow. Yeah, that growth might be slow at times, but I think it's been healthy and steady. And I don't see the need, like many residents, to change the formula by bringing in heavy industry that we're not really in support of. And I think that we should have a say in what's going on. I think we should have a say in what's being brought into our town without having to act like watchdogs at the council chambers. Or I think that we should be able to have a say in protecting our water from excessive, unnecessary industrial use, especially as drought conditions have gotten worse. And I just think that Benson deserves a more thorough, robust conversation.
And as I fix your mic here, this mic in particular,
Yeah.
sorry about that. Final question, closing thoughts.
Well, I just want to firstly extend a thank you to the Benson VFW Post for hosting us tonight. I appreciate all of you and your service to our country. I'd also like to say thank you to Cool FM and Mary Moran for organizing this event and inviting all of us to participate. As I've probably said a few times tonight, I love Benson and I love our people here, and I have a lot of respect for our community members. And so when I started to hear the calls for an alternative option, I decided to stand up and put my money where my mouth was. And I've been doing a lot of praying in the last 6 months, not for my will to be done, but for God's will to be done. And if he sees fit and the good people of Benson see fit to put me in office, I will do it to the best of my ability. If not, I will gladly go home with a clear conscience, with my head held high, knowing that I stood up for what I felt was right. And that's just fine. Anyway, thank you all for coming out tonight. May God bless you all.
Derek Fenn, thank you so much, sir. All the best. Best of luck to you. Thank you so much. You are watching live coverage here on Cool FM Live, as we'll get that thing adjusted a little bit, get a little bit tightened up there. Thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate that. Here on Cool FM Live, so glad you're joining us. Jeff Davenport here, along with Mary Moran, John Berger, being able to stream this to you, for the Benson community, for all of Cochise County, to understand who these candidates are and what they stand for, what their vision is for this beautiful city of Benson. It is the gateway to the rest of the San Pedro Valley, and we are fortunate to be here tonight. Thank you to our good friends at the VFW Post 6271 for hosting the town hall tonight. They do so much in the community, and we're grateful for their support. Is it time? It is time for our next amazing person that we're going to be talking to. This is, we want to welcome Benson City Councilman Darren Hayes. Darren. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm gonna move this over so it ends up aiming at you, and ask you to start off by telling us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, as you know, I'm Darren Hayes. I've been serving on the city council now for just under a year and a half. I grew up here in Benson, and the fabulous thing I get to say is I teach at the school I graduated from. My focus about coming into city council was more me just being a resident that wanted to do something to help this, to help our city. The infrastructure needed help. I'm not a politician. I am just a resident that is concerned and wants to help out. My priorities as your city councilman are fiscal responsibility, infrastructure improvements, and creating opportunities that benefit all of the Benson families. Okay?
Amazing. And that will get us into our second question, which is, Darren Hayes, what do you feel are the key issues in this election?
Well, let's address the white elephant in the room. It's the ADI right now. That's the big issue that's overriding everything. It's causing all the division. The recall, it's focusing on how residents were irate or took up concerns and about how they felt the city handled the process of having ADI come in here. Although I must admit, this was all happening before I stepped on the council. So I got to walk into it like you guys did too. While some residents were initially irate and raised concerns, ADI secured all the necessary permits, and people are starting to see that they're moving forward with strong environmental safeguards right now. They've been putting, yes, they started with 3 cooling towers with scrubbers, but now there's 5. They neutralized the hydrochloric acid with lime, and they have lime within those scrubbers too. So they're doing what they can. And since ADEQ and EPA is okayed it, they're doing what they can. Mm-hmm. All right. But besides ADI, our roads need a lot of help. Okay, our infrastructure needs to be improved. We need to make it so that our kids come back to Benson. We want to have the people that can grow old here comfortably, but we want our kids coming back too. And we can do that through proper infrastructure, creating a tax base, growth, responsibly. That's what we need. And so those are some of the issues besides ADI.
And then Darren, the next question is, what type of economic development do you support?
Well, I support smart, job-creating economic development like ADI, okay? The recycling plant brings real opportunity to our residents, okay? We're along the I-10. We have freeway access, 90 and the I-10. We have railroads. We have the corridors that allow us to bring between Sierra Vista and Tucson come through Benson. So we're like a linkage, right? Why not take advantage of that? Okay, but all developments that we have, they must include rigorous oversight, environmental compliance, and ongoing community dialogue. ADI has demonstrated that by doing the permitting process.
Well, Darren, the next question continues kind of in the vein of looking at Benson as a whole. What is your vision for this beautiful city of Benson, Darren?
A vibrant Benson. A Benson that keeps a small town charm, but can grow stronger with a stronger economy. Thriving downtown with active local businesses, improved infrastructure, safe neighborhoods, and excellent services. More local jobs. Many people don't, my candidate, one of the candidates in there will not be able to know about this, but you ask anybody in Benson, they have a family member, they have a friend that has worked at Apache. Apache's been providing jobs for over a century, providing a lot of good jobs for the people in Benson. And I feel that ADI will be able to do the same as Apache has done. But we also want to make sure that we're following environmental standards and having safeguards in place.
Absolutely. And now, Darren Hayes, you have 2 minutes for your closing thoughts.
2 minutes, okay. Well, I want to say that Benson's a great community. It has a lot of potential to it, okay? I'm grateful that the residents entrusted me to be on their city council for the last year and a half. Now the ADI project is under construction. We can bring meaningful economic development while addressing concerns. I remain committed to transparency, listening to all voices, and ensuring projects like ADI deliver benefits for everyone. Okay, I ask for your continued support so I can keep working on infrastructure, jobs, and a prosperous future for our families. Together we can embrace a positive growth and make Benson even stronger. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Darren Hayes, all the best in the election, my friend. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Well, again, that is kind of the interesting part about a 10-minute town hall, and the great part is these folks who are up here on this microphone will be available to talk to you if you have questions specifically for them about maybe some things that they addressed during this 10-minute town hall. You will have your opportunity to speak with them directly about that. Don't forget, tomorrow is the last day to request a ballot for the May 19th special recall election. Your vote is your voice, and we encourage you to get out and vote. I'm Jeff Davenport here on Cool FM Live this evening at the VFW Post in Benson, Arizona, talking to our city council candidates. And up next is Benson City Councilman Levi Johnson. Levi, good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, you'll use both microphones there. Levi, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I don't want to be a broken record because I know I said this before, but I am Levi Johnson. I moved here about 8 years ago. I did grow up in the town of San Manuel, left, came back after the military. So to go on to that, I am a veteran. But I'm big into the community here. I do run with my awesome board the soccer program here. I'm on the Benson as an advisor, the Benson Youth Council. As you know, we just we'll use $10,000 over to the school so they can have an awesome CTE program that I wrote a grant for. I know she's smiling back there because it was a big event for them, 144 kids. It was great. But I mean, I'm very, very community-based. You'll see me all over the place. I'm mainly down at the park, doing time down there with the kids. If not there, I just started playing pickleball, so that's I'm trying that out for the first time, and it seems pretty fun. But just the basis of me is when I moved here, I think for all veterans, I don't really want to speak for you, but for me, that I was missing something when I left the service and trying to fill that hole. And so I think that hole was filled with me doing community service for it, reaching out. And then when I started doing that, I was like, you know what, I want to run for city council, maybe make the town better and all that. So, and I do use that time in community service to get to know people, get their questions, and apply that to the council and to the city.
Awesome. Levi, what do you feel are the key issues in this election?
Key issues. I think it's the growth and the transparency. I think the transparency, I've sat down and I've talked to the staff, the city manager. I think we could have done a little bit better on some of the communication that we have with the current hot topic of the plant. To me, that's the biggest one, and I think sitting down and that for me is all how do you bridge that transparency? How do you get it out there? You have social media, you have mail. Like what does everybody use the most? And it seems like when you pick and choose or put all together at once, it's like it's still not enough. So that's the real question: is how do you get the information out there, get to know the public, have the public heavily informed of what's going on? So that's, to me, is I want to ensure the public is informed of what's going on inside the city.
Yeah. Well, Levi, what type of economic development do you support for Benson?
So my background heavy is in logistics. Sierra Vista, I know, just got the Amazon down there. Kind of wish, that light industrial, that warehousing, it doesn't really use a lot of water, but you still it brings the jobs, it brings the business, and that's really where I support is, and I've talked to people before, a great business that would be here on I-90 and I-10 right there on the other side of the bridge is Costco. Like outside the city, but close enough to generate a ton of revenue. You'd have everybody that's almost inside of Cochise County coming to that Costco, just shop there and not having to deal with the crazy traffic that goes to Tucson.
Yeah. So Levi, then what would you say is your overall vision for this beautiful city of Benson?
My overall vision, I would like to see it grow a little bit more. Like we have to bring business in to alleviate the tax burden on the residents. Residents should not have to be burdened with a heavy tax rate. Sierra Vista, you see Sierra Vista, everybody, they have a 1.95% food tax. Ours is 3.5. I'd love to bring that down, but to do that, you have to bring in businesses to offset that cost. So we can bring in things like the fire department and the fire personnel that definitely need to heavily be there.
Yeah. Well, Levi, you have 2 minutes for your closing thoughts or comments.
I had a great speech too. I'm truly for the city of Benson. Like anybody can come, pull me aside, talk to me. That's what I truly believe in my heart is the Constitution says we the people for a reason. I'm not here for myself. I'm here for you. Like I love talking to people. If at Walmart, just pull me aside. What's going on with the city? Why is this happening like this? And I'll talk to you. I love to be at the park when heavy stuff is going on down there and talk to people what's going down there. And I was just talking to somebody yesterday when I was playing pickleball. It was like it truly is fun to sit and talk to people, understand, because even though there's 7 of us up there, we don't have the answers. Like I sat down with a gentleman about a proposal that's going on right now. And he was like, hey, I wrote all this down. I want you to see your thoughts. And I was like, well, this is amazing. Like, I would have never thought of this. I know another council person was with me and he was like, I wouldn't have thought of this. So, truly, talk to us. Tell us what you have to email us because we don't have the answers. It's really fun.
Well, it's amazing, and we wish you the best of luck, everyone. Levi Johnson. Thank you so much. Thank you. All the best. All the best. Thank you so much. Well, once again, this is the 10-minute town hall here on Cool FM Live this fine Thursday evening. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you to the live audience that have come out to the VFW here in Benson to be able to provide this opportunity to interact with these candidates here for the recall election. A reminder, once again, tomorrow is the last day to request a ballot for the May 19th special recall election. Your vote is your voice, and that is the reason why you guys are here, and that's the reason why you're watching on Cool FM Live right now, is because you need to be informed and you want to be informed. And that's why we're doing this here tonight. And we encourage you, no matter what, get out and vote. The final person we will be talking with right now is Benson City Council candidate Ross Kaplowitz. Ross,
Nice to meet you.
thank you so much. Nice to meet you. I'm going to move that over aim it toward you and ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, good evening. My name's Ross Kaplowitz, and I'm running for city council in the recall election. With one goal, to bring honest, transparent, and community-focused leadership that puts Benson first. I wasn't born here, but like many of you, I chose Benson. I grew up in Massachusetts. I studied business and criminal justice at North Shore Community College, Salem State College, and Daytona State College in Florida. I spent my early career working hard, managing retail stores, serving as a volunteer EM firefighter, and eventually building a career in public safety. I spent many years with the Department of Corrections here in Arizona, including 4 as a sergeant, responsible for people, safety, and tough decisions. After leaving corrections, I built a small trucking business from the ground up with my last pennies. Today, I operate a business capacity owner, and I'm leased on to Landstar Systems Incorporated with 7 contractors running my trucks. And I understand budgets, regulations, accountability, and what it means to have people depending on you, including their families. When my son graduated high school, we moved here from Tucson, and I made a choice. We wanted a rural community with neighbors that still wave to each other, where families can breathe and where people look out for each other. We live on 12 acres with our horses and goats, and we're invested here.
And we'll go ahead and stop you right there,
Okay.
and because the 2 minutes expire. But you can continue your thought as we go to the next question.
Okay.
What do you feel are the key issues in this election?
First, transparency. Too many decisions have been made without clear communication or public involvement. When the public's informed, the public is empowered. Responsible growth and resource protection. Growth is coming whether we like it or not, but how we manage it will define Benson's future. Growth should benefit the people who live here. A major part of responsible growth is public safety. Benson needs 24/7 operating fire department. Emergencies don't wait for business hours. They happen 24/7. We also need a new fire station on Highway 90 to reduce response time and protect the growing areas of our community. Public safety includes our police department, making sure they have staffing, support, resources needed to keep our neighborhood safe. Roads and infrastructure isn't just pavement, it's safety, accessibility, and the foundation for our future growth. Wasteful spending and fiscal responsibility. Taxpayer dollars should be treated with respect. Eliminating the wasteful spending is how we free up resources that truly matter, and how we create room to lower taxes without cutting essential services. We need to sit down and modernize our outdated codes, ordinances, and procedures. Some of our city rules are decades old, and no longer fit needs of a modern growing community. More activities for our families, our seniors, and our kids. And the election is about respect for residents. Every resident deserves a voice, and every concern deserves to be heard.
And that is what will lead us into our next question. Ross Kaplowitz, what type of economic development do you support?
Smart, responsible, community-focused growth. Not that overwhelms our resources or changes the character of our town that we all chose to be in. I support small business. Local businesses are the backbone of a rural community. The money stays here, jobs stay here, and the community benefits directly. I hired 2 local contractors to build my house and my adjacent garage, and so keep it local. Industries that fit Benson, that don't drain our water, pollute our air, or strain our infrastructure. Economic development goes hand in hand with infrastructure investment. Modernizing ordinances and ensuring, like I said, our fire coverage and strong police support. They're economic issues. Focus on the quality of life development for our families, our seniors, kids. They need activities, recreation, and community spaces. They don't need to be on our street corners. Fiscal responsible development, eliminating wasteful spending, lowering our taxes, making sure every dollar is used wisely. Businesses want to invest in communities that manages their finances responsibly. And I don't see that here, and I'm looking from the outside in because everybody knows I've been here for approximately a year and a half.
Well, Ross, that will lead us to our next question, is to an opportunity for 2 minutes to give your vision for the city of Benson.
It's simple. A community that grows responsibly, protects the resources, stays true to the character that brought so many of us here in the first place. Transparency is the standard, not exception. My vision is a city government that communicates openly, involves the public early, and earns the trust of the people, not just the residents, but our outlying community. Smart growth, not fast growth. Protect our water, safeguards our air quality, and doesn't overwhelm our infrastructure. Again, strong public safety. I've said it a couple times. I'm not going to repeat it. Reliable roads and infrastructure. Too many of our roads are in poor condition. And fixing the infrastructure isn't just about convenience. It's about safety, economic development, and pride in our community. My vision includes fiscal responsibility. We need to manage our money wisely, earn confidence in its residents. Our codes and ordinances, they're not modernized. They need to be updated. Our text codes are from 20 years ago. And then our families, our seniors, and our kids. Residents first. A community that is safe, transparent, fiscally responsible, growing in a way that protects the place we all call home.
Well, Ross Kaplowitz, time for closing thoughts. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Well, listening to residents in our community, they've all expressed concerns to me about the current leadership. They frequently make promises during election years, and once the election's over, forget it. They don't fulfill their promises. I learned that in the few cities I've lived in, and it's even happening here in our small town. At the end of my day, my message is simple. Benson first. I'm going to retire here, and my family's going to grow up here. We're staying here. We're not going anywhere. I chose Benson because I wanted a place where the neighbors, again, wave at you, where people looking out for each other. My neighbor's painting my fence today because he wanted to help me. The community still means something. Of course, I'm boarding his horse, by the way. I'm running because I believe in Benson. I'm running because I want to protect Benson. I want to serve with integrity, listen to the residents, and make decisions that reflect the values of the people who call this place home. I want to thank Cool FM. I want to thank everybody here for taking the time and caring about the future of Benson and our community. And I'm ready to work for Benson. I'm ready to work for you all, and I'm ready to put Benson first every single day.
Benson City Council candidate, Ross Kaplowitz. Ross, absolute pleasure. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, how'd you guys like the first half of this? No, I'm kidding. That's actually all we got. Hey, I've got a couple of announcements here before we wrap up. The 5th Annual Benson Veteran Community Connect will be going on May 22nd. You can view, yes, exactly, Christine right there, making sure everybody knows about that. See Christine for more information about that. The Veterans of Foreign Wars right here, VFW Post 6271 will present the viewing of the Arizona-Vietnam Wall. Honor, remember, reflect. That'll be going on. Yes, absolutely. We remember and honor and reflect. That'll be going on Saturday, May 23rd from 10 to 3 over at 233 East 5th Street. And I believe there's one more here. Looks like, there's going to be a dance coming up. I can see you got your dancing shoes on right there. So you're ready to go for the VFW dance. It'll be Saturday, May 23rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Big picnic going on. The viewing for the Arizona Memorial Wall will be there as well. And everyone is welcome to attend. Most importantly, remember that tomorrow is the very last day to request a ballot for the May 19th special recall election. Your vote is your voice. We encourage you to get out there and vote. Can we get one more round of applause for all of our candidates who spoke here tonight? Thank you so much for participating, and we wish all of them the best of luck in the upcoming election. And thank you to the amazing men and women here at the VFW Hall for hosting us here tonight. Thank you guys for doing that. There's still some chili left, right? We still got some chili, $7 a bowl right there. Go grab some dinner. I'm about to do that myself, but we are so grateful for you guys being here tonight. This has been a broadcast of Cool FM Live. My name is Jeff Davenport. I am the voice of Arizona, and I thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing this. If you've been watching on Cool FM Live tonight, and maybe you joined us partway through, be kind, rewind. You'll be able to see everyone answer those same 5 questions and watch that and know that the city of Benson, we care about it. We love it, and we can't wait to see its beautiful and glorious future. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Have a great night, everybody. We'll check in with you again later on. Thank you.